Okay, I think we're on. We are. All right. Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Roger Paul, and tonight we are going to continue our studies with paper 35, The Local Universe, Sons of God, and that starts on page 384, the original book. So let's say a little prayer. We will get started. Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight. We thank you for the opportunity to share this wonderful revelation with other folks. Pray to watch over us and be with you and be with us. And we thank you for the opportunity to do this and to share with one another and see each other and open our hearts and minds that we might remember this and share it with everyone. We say this in the name of your son, Michael, Jesus of Nazareth. Amen.
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 Okay, the Local Universe, Sons of God. Gary, did you want to go say happy birthday to your wife before we get started?
No, I've done that. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
I've
All right.
You don't want us
accomplished
to
that
sing something for
earlier.
her?
Okay. See, I'm
All
a fast
right.
guy. Okay.
You're a what? Fast guy? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I started fast.
Okay. All right. Diane, would you start us out tonight?
The sons of God previously introduced have had a paradise origin. They are the offspring of the divine rulers of the universal domains. Of the first paradise order of sonship, the creator sons, there is in Nebadon only one, Michael, the universe father and sovereign. Of the second order of paradise sonship, the avonal or magisterial sons, Nebadon has its full quota, 1,062. And these lesser Christs are just as effective and all-powerful in their planetary bestowals as was the creator and master son on Urantia. The third order, being of Trinity origin, do not register in a local universe, but I estimate there are in Nebadon between 15 and 20,000 Trinity teacher sons, exclusive of 9,642 creature trinitized assistants of record. These paradise Danos are neither magistrates nor administrators. They are super teachers.
Okay, so they start us up on this paper. Of course, this paper is the Local Universe, Sons of God, but they want to remind us of the other sons of God. So they start with the paradise origin sons of God on this paper, okay? And we know the paradise order of sons of God come from a combination of the Trinity. The creator sons being the combination of God the Father and God the Son. The avonals or magisterial sons is the combination of God the Son and the Infinite Spirit. And the Danals, the Trinity teacher son, are the combination of all three, God the Father, God the Son, and God the Spirit. Now, these are the three orders of paradise sonship, but they also mention here the Trinity teacher sons that work in the local universe also. But these are creature trinitized sons. These are creature or humans or beings that have made it to paradise and been trinitized and go back and work in a local universe. Okay. They also mention in this first paragraph that that there's only one paradise son, creator son for each local universe. Okay. And that's our Michael, the creator son. But there are 1,062 of the magisterial sons, and they mention here that these magisterial sons, they call them lesser Christ. Now, why would they call them this? It's because they go out to a planet just like Christ Michael did for a bestowal and try to enlighten these planets about the sonship of God, the fatherhood of God, and the brotherhood of man. Okay, and these lesser Christs or these magisterial sons does a mission just like Michael did on this planet, but the difference is they're not creator sons, they're magisterial sons. Now, interesting point about that is when a magisterial son goes out to a planet for a bestowal, it's not mentioned very much in the book, but when he does, one of the the local universe sons of God that goes with him are 12 Melchizedeks. Okay, and that's a lot of what we're going to study tonight is about the Melchizedeks. So when the magisterial sons go out for their mission, just like Jesus did here, when they appear on the planet as full human beings, just like Jesus did, or beings of that planet, there also appears with them 12 visible beings that are 12 Melchizedeks, which is kind of interesting if you think about it, right? Because not only the magisterial son appears to these humans or beings of those planets, but also there's 12 other beings that comes with him that are fully visible to all the local inhabitants. So their mission is the same as Jesus's was on this planet. So there's a magisterial mission for every single planet of a local universe. And that means if there's 10 million planets eventually in our local universe, guess how many magisterial missions there will be in the local universe? At least 10 million, right? So this 1,062 magisterial sons have to do multiple missions on multiple planets, and normally they do 7 bestowals on planets, just like Jesus did his 7 bestowals in different types of beings. Okay, so before a magisterial son is done, he has to have done 7 different planets on these missions of enlightenment to the planets.
Hey, Roger, I had
Isn't
a
that
question.
interesting? Yeah.
I'm trying to understand. Basically, what you're saying is a magisterial son or an avenal, like a creator son. I don't understand why they're called lesser Christ. I mean, they do say that they are on the second order of paradise sonship. And we know
Right.
that they're created by, is it the eternal son?
Yeah, the eternal son and the infinite spirit.
Okay.
Okay.
But
So
I
they're
don't
created.
understand.
The reason they call them lesser Christ
Yeah, I mean, they're
is
just,
because they're not, they did not create the universe, that planet or the local universe, which they're doing this bestowal. And the creator sons do 1 bestowal on a planet for each local universe. So only a creator son that's created that local universe will do only 1 planet bestowal in his local universe, but the magisterial sons do 7. Right? Remember though that our Christ, our Michael, did his 7 bestowals and all 7 types of beings that he's created, right? So that's where he gets his 7 bestowals. But all these, what they call lesser Christ, because they're not creators, they're not creator sons. So when they come to a planet, they will claim to be a son of God, just like Jesus did, right? But they will never claim, they will never say that they created the planet or that they're God incarnate, because they're not, right? They're the Son incarnate.
so the
See the difference?
magisterial sons do 7 incarnations on planets, not what Michael did through
Right.
Havona, that list,
Yeah,
that Michael
of the
went through.
different
Okay.
types of, that's right.
That's
Yeah,
the difference. Okay,
that's
thank
the
you, Roger.
difference.
Thank you.
All right. Now,
Can I
the third
question?
order, yeah, go ahead. Gary.
What happens to the magisterial sons once they've completed their bestowals?
Then they've been certified that they finished all 7 of their bestowals. So it puts them on a higher level for service. Okay. So it's like a feather in your cap, as they say.
In other words, you get
right?
a pin to wear.
Well, they would after that work on other projects, like going back to the planets of Melchizedek that surround Salvington, to train not only other human beings and beings coming through Salvington, but they would also train any other personnel like Lenonondex and Verandadex that are getting ready to go out for service. They would be in the position to train them because they've had that experience. Okay, so it kind of puts them on a higher level. Now remember, we're going to get into this when we go into the Melchizedeks, but the Melchizedeks, there were 12 Melchizedeks assigned to the planet when Calagasta came, right? And they stuck around for a while and then they left. And when Calagasta defaulted, they came back and assumed control of the planet again. Okay, the 12 Melchizedeks. Now they also did this with Adam and Eve. When Adam and Eve took over, they also gave up control of the planet for Adam and Eve. And when Adam and Eve defaulted, they came right back and took back over the control of the planet right up to the time of our bestowal of Machiaventia Melchizedek. And they stayed in that position until Christ finished his bestowal, right? So we've had 12 Melchizedeks assigned to the planet twice as administrators, and now we have 12 Melchizedeks assigned to the planet in the interim, waiting until all this adjudication takes place. There is one other Trinity origin son I want to mention, and that's the Trinity teacher son. And in Nebadon, it's estimated that there's between 15 and 20,000 teacher sons, plus 9,642 creature trinitized assistants of records that come to the planets and help us out too, right? But they are not magistrates or administrators. They are just teachers, super teachers. Okay. Now that's the difference between paradise sons and local universe sons. Now we're going to kick into the local universe sons. All three of these sons we just discussed were created by paradise origin beings, right? The rest of the sons we talk about are created by Michael and the creative mother spirit. Two of them, the Verandadek and the Lananandex, were created only by the creator son and the creative mother spirit, but two of them also are created by the creator son, the local universe mother spirit, and the whole range of Melchizedeks is also helped created by the father Melchizedek, which is the very first one that Michael and the local universe mother spirit creates. Okay, so the first Melchizedek, we're going to get into that in great detail. The other life carrier sons are created by Michael and the local universe mother spirit, plus one of the three ancients of days. Okay, so all life carriers are co-created by one of the three ancients of days. It's this reason that they can create life plasm, because part of that is integrated into the fact that God the sevenfold is involved in creating life, and that comes from the ancients of days, right? The other part of life, the spark of life, we know comes from the local universe mother spirit.
I had a question,
Okay.
Roger.
Yeah.
Where they say these paradise Danos are neither magistrates nor administrators, they are super teachers. Is there anything special about that word, super teachers?
No, other than the fact that they're teachers on a level much higher than your average teacher would be.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you.
Right. Okay. They're more along the line of the Melchizedek teachers, the Melchizedek being local universe super teachers, and the Trinity's teacher sons are super universe or paradise super teachers. Okay. All right. So let's go on to the next little section. Gary, would you take that paragraph and the four types of sons there for me, please?
One, but
Yeah, it takes the types of sons.
2 Verandadek sons, 3
Wait, read the paragraph before it because it won't make any sense in the list.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. The types of sons about to be considered are of local universe origin. They are the offspring of a paradise creator son in varied association with the complemental universe mother spirit. The following orders of local universe sonship find mentioned in the narratives: 1, Melchizedek sons, 2 Verandadek sons, 3 Landadek sons, and 4 life carrier sons.
Okay. All right. So notice here it says in this first paragraphs above that, they are the offspring of the Paradise Creator Son in varied association. What are they talking about there? With the complemental universe Mother Spirit. So all four of them require the Paradise Creator Son and the local universe Mother Spirit. But two of them require, after the first one's created, the Melchizedek's, Father Melchizedek's, and the last one, the life carriers, requires the Ancients of Days. So all the Verandadek and all the Lananandeks, did I pronounce that? Lananandek. Yeah, I said it right. I used to mispronounce that all the time. Okay. Those two orders of sonship just come from the Creator Son and the local universe Mother Spirit. Okay. And this shows a chart of that. The Melchizedek sons plus the universe Mother Spirit, Michael, the Lananandeks, and the Verandadek sons, and the life carriers, right? All right. Let's go on to the next one. Jane, would you take the next one, please?
Okay. Triune Paradise deity functions for the creation of three orders of sonship: the Michaels, the Avenals, and the Danals, dual deity in the local universe. The Son and the Spirit also functions in the creation of three high orders of sons: the Melchizedeks, the Verandadeks, and the Lenanondeks. And having achieved this threefold expression, they collaborate with the next level of God, the sevenfold, in the production of the versatile order of life carriers. These beings are classified with the descending sons of God, but they are unique and original. They are unique and original form of universe life. Their consideration will occupy the whole of the paper.
Okay, so the first three are all combinations of God, the Creator Son, the Mother, and the Mother Spirit, and the rest of the Melchizedeks. After the first one, Father Melchizedek helps create the rest of the Melchizedeks. But the other two, the Verandadeks and Lananandeks, are just the creation of Michael and the local universe Mother Spirit. And then what they're saying here is the next level of God the sevenfold, which would be what? The Ancients of Days. Okay, so the Ancients of Days are involved in production of the life carriers on every single planet. All right, and these are all considered local universe descending sons of God. What is that? What does that mean compared to us? We are considered ascending sons of God, aren't we? Because we start as the basic lowest point on the scale, right? And we go up the ladder and eventually make it to paradise, right? So we are learning how to be more perfect and get closer to deity, where the descending order of sonship is bringing deity down to us. So that's why they are descending sons of God. They are descending down to us to help train us so we can be ascending sons of God.
Hey,
right?
Roger, I had a question. Where they use the word the triune paradise deity, it makes me think of, the Michaels were created by the Father. And then, of course, the Avanos, like you said, the eternal Son and the infinite Spirit, and the Danals would be the Father, Son, and Spirit. So how are they wording that? Because I know that when they use the word triune paradise deity, sometimes it can either be as the Trinity, or it could be separate, like either God the Father or the eternal Son or the infinite Spirit. So when they say triune paradise deity, how are they wording that?
Well, they're saying triune because all three of these orders is some mixture of the triune deity of the Trinity.
Okay, thank you.
So these beings are of Trinity origin, in a sense that at least two of those beings from the Trinity are involved in their creation.
You know what, you're right, because you're right. The Michaels were created by the Father and the eternal Son. I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Where the where the magisterial sons are the Son and the infinite Spirit, right? And of course, the Trinity is all three, Trinity, teacher, sons. Okay, the Father Melchizedek. The Father Melchizedek. Millie, would you take that paragraph for us, please? Hi, Millie.
Yes, I can do this. Number one, the Father Melchizedek. After bringing into existence the beings of personal age, such as the bright and morning star and other administrative personalities, in accordance with the divine purpose and creative plans of a given universe, there occurs a new form of creative union between Creator Son and the creative spirit, the local universe daughter of the infinite spirit. The personality offspring resulting from this creative partnership is the original Melchizedek, the Father Melchizedek, that unique being who subsequently collaborates with the Creator Son and the creative spirit to bring into existence the entire group of that name.
Okay, so the Father Melchizedek is the same person of executive title in the local universe. Okay, who was the first person of executive title?
Is that Gabriel?
right?
Yeah. Gabriel. Yeah.
Gabriel, the bright and morning star. Then came whom? The whole order of the evening stars, which had Gabriel involved with that, right? So all the orders of the support personnel for Gabriel came after the creation of Gabriel. You with me still?
Mhm.
So after all of these support people were created, or angels were created, all right, by the Creator Son and the local universe Mother Spirit, the next first being that was created was whom? The Father Melchizedek. And the Father Melchizedek being the first order of sonship created outside of angelic beings, because remember, all the Gabriel and all his support people and all the evening stars and all that, those are all angels, right? They're offspring from the infinite spirit and the creative mother spirit, right? So Father Melchizedek in essence is the first regular local universe son of God, right? He's the executive branch of the local universe son of God. And being he's the first one creative, he has reproductive capabilities along with Michael and the local universe mother spirit, because he is the firstborn. Okay. So all beings of Melchizedek origin after him is the entire order of the Melchizedek group. Okay, but none of the orders, none of the Melchizedeks that come after him have what? Reproductive capabilities. None of them. Okay, so they cannot reproduce. Only Father Melchizedek was allowed to do that. Okay, which is important because no beings of Melchizedek status was created without Father Melchizedek. And the whole group was all created simultaneously. Okay, so unless the local universe mother spirit and the creator son deems it necessary to have more Melchizedeks, there will never be created any more Melchizedeks in the local universe. They're all done.
I had a
All right?
question.
Yeah.
The reproduction with the Melchizedeks and the material daughters, where they create, oh God, what were they called? It starts with an A.
The Adams and Eves?
No, it's where Melchizedek's will mate with the creative daughter, and it creates, I can't think of what they're called. They create gosh, what are they called?
The only thing that created the Melchizedek, Father Melchizedek creates is the order of Melchizedek's.
Right, but these are just other Melchizedeks that mate with the material daughters to procreate
No.
with, I can't think
No,
of their
they
name.
have no procreative capability.
Okay, are you talking about on Earth?
No, anywhere.
Oh, anywhere, okay.
Never do. No. Only Father Melchizedek can, they don't really mate. They, that's not really a correct term. He creates in conjunction with the Creator Son and the local universe Mother Spirit, but they don't really mate. It's not like a human mating.
Okay.
Would
Okay.
it be like a volition, like a desire, like a,
It'd be like a volition, a willing,
Yeah.
they will these beings into existence, right? That would be more along the line, because it's going to say here in a minute, we're going to read this, how this happens. Okay. All right. So bear with me for just a minute. Let's go on to the next paragraph. Tim, would you take the next paragraph in the universe of Nebadon?
In the universe of Nebadon, the Father Melchizedek acts as the first executive associate of the bright morning star Gabriel. Bright morning star. Gabriel is occupied more with universe policies, Melchizedek with practical procedures. Gabriel presides over the regular constituted tribunals and councils of Nebadon. Melchizedek over the special, extraordinary, and emergency commissions and advisory bodies. Gabriel and the Father Melchizedek are never away from Salvington. At the same time, in Gabriel's absence, the Father Melchizedek functions as the chief executive of Nebadon.
Okay, it's important to understand this. Gabriel is the chief executive of the local universe of Nebadon. Okay, so he is involved in the policies and procedures of the universe of Nebadon, right? Melchizedek is his underling, is the next one down. So it's Melchizedek that takes these policies and makes them into practical procedures to make these things happen. So in essence, Gabriel may discuss a policy with Michael and the local universe Mother Spirit. They come up with the policy and say, okay, this is what we want to do, right? So they will turn around and hand it to Melchizedek, and it's Melchizedek's job to take these policies and make them into things that will work. Okay. Special, ordinary, emergency commission, or advisory bodies that makes these things happen. Okay. So if Gabriel has to be away from Salvington for any reason, then Father Melchizedek is the next in line. So he takes over. Makes sense? So example of that is when Gabriel came down to earth to help participate in Michael's bestowal, guess who was in charge of the executive branch? Father Melchizedek, right? Because Gabriel was absent from Salvington during that period of time. Make sense? So during Michael's bestowal, even though Emmanuel was in charge of the entire universe, who was the Son of God, right? He was a Trinity son. It was Melchizedek that instigated the policies and made sure everything kept running the way it's supposed to. Make sense? All right. So never is Father Melchizedek and Gabriel away from Salvington at the same time. Why? Because there would be no one running the show, right? Make sense?
Yes.
All right. Well, let's go on. I see an iPad down there. I assume that must be Rodney. Is that you, Rodney? Okay. Rodney, you want to take the next one for us? 3513.
Yes. Hey guys, sorry I'm late.
Okay.
The Melchizedeks of our universe were all created within one millennial period of standard time by the Creator Son and the creative Spirit in liaison with the Father Melchizedek. Being an order of sonship, wherein one of their own number functioned as coordinate creator, Melchizedeks are in constitution partly of self-origin and therefore candidates for the realization of a supernal type of self-government. They periodically elect their own administrative chief for a term of 7 years of standard time, and then otherwise function as a self-regulating order. Though the original Melchizedek does exercise certain inherent co-parental prerogatives, from time to time, does Father Melchizedek designate certain individuals of his order to function as special life carriers to the Mansonite worlds.
Midsonite.
Midsonite worlds, a type of inhabited planet not heretofore revealed on Urantia.
Okay, couple things in this paragraph. First, it mentions here that Father Melchizedek was a function as the co-creator of all the Melchizedeks. Do you see that? It also states here that all the Melchizedeks were all created in one millennial period of standard time, and they're talking about standard time being Salvington time, not local, not Earth time. Okay, and it's going to break this down a little bit farther down in this paper in great detail here. Okay, so it also mentions here that this whole group, the Melchizedeks, are the only group in Nebadon that is totally self-governing. Okay, they're self-governing because one of their own co-created all of them. All right, so he gets to self-govern that whole group along with the group. Okay, so they're one of the few orders that is self-governing all the way through, unlike the Verandadeks and Lenonondex and life carriers. Okay, so the other thing important in this paragraph, it is also from time to time the Father Melchizedek designates certain individuals of his orders to function as special life carriers to the Midsonite worlds. Now, Tim, this may be what you were talking about. You were thinking about they were the Melchizedeks.
Correct. Yes, that's correct.
You know, but really, in essence, they are just the life carriers to the Midsonite worlds, which they don't even tell us a whole lot about. Okay, the Midsonite worlds, they're not like normal mortal worlds. They're in between type thing. And it's not much revealed on Urantia about them. But one of the Father Melchizedeks can function as a life carrier to these worlds rather than a regular life carrier. Okay, obviously because they probably don't have physical bodies as we know of, you know, like we do.
Okay, thank you, Roger, for that note.
Does that make a little more sense?
Yes, thank you.
It's not a sexual union though. I want to make sure that that's clear.
Sure.
Yeah, he just carries life to the planet and gets life started. Of course, probably the Ancients of Days are still involved in that because of the way the whole thing works. All right. Let's see, Diane, you're back up, I think.
The Melchizedeks, excuse me, the Melchizedeks do not function extensively outside the local universe, except when they are called as witnesses in matters pending before the tribunals of the super universe, and when designated special ambassadors, as they sometimes are. representing one universe to another in the same super universe. The original or firstborn Melchizedek of each universe is always at liberty to journey to the neighboring universes or to paradise on missions having to do with the interests and duties of his order.
Okay, notice here that it says that the Melchizedeks can function outside the local universe, can't function outside the local universe except when they're called as witnesses under the tribunals of the super universe. What are they talking about there? They're talking about judgment, right? So when Lucifer goes before judgment in the Ancients of Days, he will actually be physically called before the Ancients of Days. Unlike us, we're judged through reflectivity, right? And the angels. But the local universe sons of God, the high levels of sons, have to be called before the Ancients of Days. And when they are, many times the Melchizedeks from that local universe are called as witnesses as to what happened during this rebellion before the Ancients of Days. Okay, so in that case, they are called to the super universe. And in that case, they go to the super universe, right? They're also sometimes assigned as special ambassadors to other universes, okay? But representing one universe to another universe on the same level. But the only Melchizedek that they mention here that is allowed to journey to paradise on missions to paradise is whom? Father Melchizedek, right? Now, if he journeys to paradise for a mission as Father Melchizedek, guess who cannot leave Salvington?
Gabriel?
Gabriel.
Gabriel, right? Because one of them always has to be there.
But you know, Roger,
Right.
there was a contradiction one time somebody pointed up where they said it was Gabriel and Melchizedek at the same time. And they said, well, wait a second. We were told that they weren't supposed, I can't exactly remember, but do you ever remember hearing anything like that?
No, but what they probably confused is they were talking about a general Melchizedek because they're all called Melchizedeks, not the firstborn. There's a difference between a general Melchizedek and the firstborn. Just like there's a difference between the 12 Melchizedeks that were assigned to our planet and Macavential Melchizedek. Okay.
So the original firstborn Melchizedek is Father Melchizedek?
The original firstborn is Father Melchizedek.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Now he can do that, but any Gabriel can be with any other Melchizedek of the order away from Salvington at any time, right? Because when Gabriel came to the planet with Michael, there were already 12 Melchizedeks here, right? So while Gabriel was here, there were 12 other Melchizedeks on the planet also watching the bestowal of Christ.
Yeah, like I was
Okay.
saying, I can't remember the question, but I do remember somebody bringing it up and freaking out about it.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, like there's a contradiction. Like, well, wait a second, guys, freak out. You stop
Yeah.
freaking out.
Yeah, that's probably what it was, because somebody
Right.
read it Melchizedek and assumed it was Father Melchizedek when it was not.
When it was not.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
What
Okay.
What was
Go
the
ahead.
Melchizedek that came to Abram?
That was Macavential Melchizedek.
A
And
different
how
one.
is he different? You inferred that he
A
was different.
different. Yeah, and he also now has been assigned our planetary prince. Okay, which he has not assumed full-time that title yet because he's allowing the Council of 24 to take turns every 1,000 years to be the administrator of the planet. One of the 24 comes to our planet every 1,000 years and acts as administrator of the planet in place of Caligastia. Okay, but eventually he was declared our vicegerent planetary prince by Michael himself. So at some time in the future, Michael will order him to assume his position as planetary prince of Urantia. So Macaventia Melchizedek will be our planetary prince. Makes
So,
sense?
hey, Roger, it's kind of like saying
But we
that
won't be here.
Father Melchizedek was the first created by
Yeah,
our universe father and created mother spirit, and then the offspring of Father Melchizedek would be just the other Melchizedeks, correct?
right.
Okay,
That's
thank
right.
you. Yeah, okay, thanks.
All right. Let's see. Number 2, the Melchizedek's sons. Who's up now? Gary, I think you're up again.
Okay. Melchizedek's sons. The Melchizedeks are the first order of divine sons to approach sufficiently near the lower creature life to be able to function directly in the ministry of mortal uplift, to serve the evolutionary races without the necessity of incarnation. Oh, okay. These sons are naturally at the midpoint of the great personality descent, by origin being just about midway between the highest divinity and the lowest creature of life of will endowment. They thus become the natural intermediaries between the higher and divine levels of living existence and the lower, even the material forms of life on the evolutionary worlds. The seraphic orders, the angels, delight to work with the Melchizedeks. In fact, all forms of intelligent life find in these sons understanding friends, sympathetic teachers, and wise counselors. So what
Okay, a couple.
guys are halfway between God and us, and so they can come to us and not be born here and just pop up and say, "Hey, how you doing?"
That's right. They can make themselves visible to us at any time they choose to. Okay. And them being, when they're talking about here, they are exactly between the highest type of divinity and the lowest creature, right? So if you think about it, being the firstborns of a local universe and material types beings, the Melchizedeks are the jumping off point from being Morantia, right, and spiritual. So if you think about it, the Melchizedeks are that level right before we step off and to become first stage spirits. That's how high they are. So they're right in between the lowest form and the highest form, which would be what? A sixth stage spirit. Make sense?
Mhm.
They're right in between. So they can make themselves not only visible to us, but in certain circumstances, they can incarnate into a human or a being of that particular planet, just exactly like a man or woman or whatever they choose to be, right? And that's exactly what Macaventia Melchizedek asked for permission to do, because of what? The light of the idea of God the Father was getting so dim, they were afraid it would disappear before Jesus came, right? So when Melchizedek appeared outside Abraham's tent, he did that so that in Salem, that he could be physically seen by all beings easily, just like every other human being. And he wanted to teach the Salemites and Abraham about God the Father and the brotherhood of man, right? And he came as a representative of El Elyon. Guess what El Elyon is? That's the Most Highs of the constellation. So he had to get a permission from the Most Highs, the constellation fathers, to come down and do this. Now, guess what Salem's name is now?
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem. That's right. So it's interesting that because Melchizedek appeared in Salem and before Abraham, all our religions with the concept of God started where?
In Jerusalem.
Salem. Jerusalem. That's right.
Salem,
All the,
Jerusalem, correct?
huh?
Salem is Jerusalem.
Salem is Jerusalem. The mount that Melchizedek appeared on, guess what that is? That's the mount under the rock in Jerusalem, the gold dome. Okay, that's where the Muslims considered the most holy place in the planet, because that's where Melchizedek appeared, right? That's also where Melchizedek met Abraham. So all the religions, the Muslims, the Christians, the Jews, everybody, all the religions about God the Father started right there at that time when Melchizedek appeared in Salem. You with me? So that's why all religions, oops, fixing to lose y'all, the cat's getting all over my computer. All the religions consider the mount in Jerusalem the most holy place on the planet. You with me? Pretty important piece of real estate. Okay. Let's see, is there anything else in this paragraph? I think I covered it all. Even the angels delight to work with the Melchizedeks because they're great teachers. Okay, let's go on to the next one.
World peace.
Huh?
You told me how you figured out, you gave me the idea of how to make world peace.
That's right. That's where it comes from.
You take this piece of real estate and layer it.
Well, it's we
Like a
all
story
had the
book?
same source. We all
Yeah.
had the same source. If you
Story.
trace
The
every,
story 1, Christian story 2, whatever,
yeah,
story 3, and
yeah,
so they no one fights.
yeah. Well, actually, the way it works is the Jews were the first, right? That's layer 1, and then the Christians, and then the Muslims, right? Came along next, right? And now we got what? We got the Catholics, and we got the Protestants, right? And in another 1,000 years, we'll have the Catholics and the Protestants and the Urantians, right? Probably. Everything works out the way they expected. All right, let's go on to the next one. Jane, would you take the next one, please?
Okay. The Melchizedeks are self-governing order. With this unique group, we encountered the first attempt at self-determination on the part of local universe beings and observed the highest type of true self-government. These sons organized their own machinery for their group and home planet administration, as well as that for 6 associated spheres and their tributary worlds. And it should be recorded that they have never abused their prerogatives, not once throughout all the super universe of Orvanton have these Melchizedek sons ever betrayed their trust. They are the hope of every universe group which aspires to self-government. They are the pattern and the teachers of self-government to all the spheres of Nebadon. All orders of intelligent beings, superiors from above and subordinates from below, are wholehearted in their praise of the government of the Melchizedeks.
Okay, I got one sentence in this paragraph that I want to give as the key to straightening out our planet. Okay, one sentence. This could fix all of our problems on this planet. You think I'm joking, don't you?
No.
Every one of them. It comes from this right here. Not once throughout all of the super universe of Orvanton have these Melchizedek sons done what?
Betrayed.
Their
Ever
trust.
betrayed their trust. That is the biggest problem of this local planet's government systems, right? Everyone that gets in office betrays their trust. What is the trust? You're there as a representative of the people, are you not?
Mhm.
When you betray the people, you betray the representation of the people. What have you done? You
You've
betrayed your
broken the
trust.
trust. May
That's
I
right.
enter something here? The
Please, Melanie,
Melchizedeks,
go right ahead.
Melchizedeks did not get wealthy by betraying the trust, and our politicians do. Greed is causing them to betray the trust.
Indeed it
Bingo.
is.
Boy, you hit it on the
Hmm.
head that time, Millie, right on the
Yes, you
head.
did.
Yep,
That's
good one.
all the governments, not just America, not
Yeah.
just Europe, not just Australia, not just Canada, not just any of them. It's all of them, is it not?
Yes.
So this is why the entire universe looks to the Melchizedeks as being a self-governing order, because they stick to their trust and never betray it. Okay, so who becomes the perfect teachers for everyone else?
Yep.
The Melchizedeks,
Melchizedek.
Wow.
right? Just that simple. Pretty simple. That was easy to fix the world problems right here tonight. I'm done for the night.
Well, that was well said, Roger. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Any
let's get
hiring Melchizedeks, hiring Melchizedeks.
That's right. Y'all can just send your
You see
checks
that?
to me later, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Melchizedek's for Senate.
Yeah. We get that's real close to me and Diane tonight, because we went and did our early voting today. So we were trying to not betray our trust, right? To do our public duty. Okay, let's get one more paragraph in here before we quit tonight here. Millie, I think you're up next.
Okay. The Melchizedek order of sonship occupies the position and assumes the responsibility of the eldest son in a large family. Most of the work is regular and somewhat routine, but most of it is voluntary and altogether self-imposed. A majority of the special assemblies, which from time to time convene on Salvington, are called on motion of the Melchizedeks, are called on motion of the Melchizedeks. I don't understand that particular part of the sentence. On their own initiative, these sons patrol their native universe. They maintain an autonomous organization devoted to universe intelligence, making periodical reports to the Creator Son, independent of all information coming up to the universe headquarters through the regular agencies concerned with the routine administration of the realm. They are by nature unprejudiced observers. They have the full confidence of all classes of intelligent beings. We just don't
So
have
they
enough
want-
intelligent beings.
That's the big problem here, is intelligence, right? But they patrol the whole universe. They report back to the Creator Son, regardless of what goes up through the all the information stuff that goes to Creator Son. They give their own reports back to the Creator Son, and they volunteer constantly to help straighten out problems in the universe. All right. So what is their keyword? Service, service, and more service. Remember Jesus, if you want to be great in paradise, it's service, service, and more service, right?
Amen.
That's just the way it is. All right, and I think we've run out of time, so we'll take it off on 35-2-4 next time. So let's say a little prayer and we'll quit for tonight. Let's see here. Tim, would you like to close us in prayer tonight?
Would it be okay if I pass? I don't know what to say.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Millie,
Okay,
would you like
thanks.
to close us in prayer?
Sure. I don't know what to say either, but I'll say it.
Just say what's in your heart, dear.
Heavenly Father, we come to you again tonight with all of our many, what we suppose to be trials and troubles on this planet that you have made for us. It is so beautiful, and you've given us everything, and we just are overlooking it for our own petty wants and desires. We thank you for being with us in spite of our weaknesses. We thank you for sending our thought adjusters to help guide us. And we thank you for this book that's going to help us find our way to your side of the world, your side of the universes, where you live, so that we can come and be with you. We thank you for Roger for helping us stumble our way through the book. We thank you for this group that meets together so we can interact, we can give each other thoughts and ideas. We can ask questions that I might have that someone else will answer, something that someone else has and that I might answer. And help us to understand the way you put it together for our benefit. We say these things in the name of Jesus Christ, Michael. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And thank you for joining us at home. Please come see us again. Let me stop the recording.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you. Welcome back, Roger and Diane.